what the president has done is to reassure Nigerians that he remains committed to seeing this election through. And I think that that is a very strong, very good confidence-building, trust-building, move, narrative, declaration, reassurance, to the extent that the international community will be reassured that the president of Nigeria is truly committed. He has made this commitment again and again. I think 5 days to the election, 6 days to the election, the president saying the same thing, it's a very strong signal, both to the local community and international stakeholders. Nigeria not being an island unto itself. Number two, the president also restated that he is aware of the difficulties that Nigerians are passing through with regard to access to the new currency notes, but that his government will do whatever is possible to make sure that this is addressed. I think that that's a very important issue, and I hope that this week the Nigerians will begin to see a difference in terms of adherence, in that direction. He having ordered last week the CBN to make sure that the notes are available and that does not become a problem to the electoral process. Number three, he used the opportunity of his very brief address, the second within a week, to tell Nigerians that the candidate of his party is not running in this election, where he doesn't have an option in that matter. The tenure of the president of Nigeria is properly defined in the Constitution. It's just maximum of 2 terms in office, and he has exhausted that. We expect him to go on May 29. So he's not talking about 3rd term. He has said it repeatedly. So he says the candidate of his party is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he's urging Nigerians to vote for the candidate of his party. Well, what other people will say is that this election will be a referendum on the Buhari administration, on the APC administration in the last 8 years. And the people of Nigeria are the ones that should be empowered to make an informed choice and to choose whether they want to reward APC for what the APC has been able to do in 8 years or not, and whether they think that they want the continuity of what they have experienced under President Muhammadu Buhari. But we see the president in his last moments acting presidential, and I think his strategies last minute they are beginning to get smart ideas about how to be presidential and to say the right things. But that's by the way. The second issue is the leadership of the APC coming together over the weekend and saying the party stands by those governors who have gone to court. Now, those governors who have gone to court, APC governors, they instituted a case invoking the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to say that the Naira redesign policy did not work, and that they wanted an ex parte injunction to suspend it. And the court ruled on February 8th that the status quo ante bellum, which means the position among the disputants before the crisis began, should be maintained. And that was the position that was again retained by the Supreme Court on Wednesday last week. But on Thursday, the president of Nigeria had a national broadcast in which, as I pointed out on this program last week, he tactically undermined the Supreme Court of Nigeria, because nobody is above the rule of law. It is true that under Section 308, that the president of Nigeria cannot be charged for contempt, because it's in office. 74 persons cannot be charged. President, vice president, governor, deputy governors. The number is 74 in total. But the president undermined the Supreme Court. But people have also argued that the president acted under Section 5 of the Constitution, also acted under Section 14, subsection 2 of the Constitution in the public interest. So, which do you place above the other? Public interest or the rule of law? And that's why you have that disagreement between Festus Keyamo, SAN, and Babatunde Fashola, SAN. Both of them arguing from the two ends of the spectrum. Keyamo saying the rule of law should prevail, Babatunde Fashola saying public interest should prevail. And I think that that is what makes this week very interesting for Nigeria. When the Supreme Court reconvenes on Wednesday, And all the consolidated suits on both sides, 10 on the side of the plaintiffs, 3 on the side of the respondents. The Attorney General of the Federation having been joined by the governors of Bayelsa and the AGF Bayelsa, AGF Edo State. It will be interesting to see whether, as Michael Zekome has argued in the public domain, whether the Supreme Court will back and bite and reprimand the president. However, as I pointed out yesterday on another program on this station, there have been countries whereby the Supreme Court, the government overruled the Supreme Court. And there are a plethora of cases from the United Kingdom, Italy, Spain, Belgium, Germany, even the United States, where the court, the apex court will rule, and the government of the day will say, no, we are going in this direction, and nothing will happen. So we face a constitutional crisis. We face a test for jurisprudence. And I think Wednesday will be crucial how their lordships, treat the matter. But what is important at the end of the day, it's not the argument among the learned silks on one side or the other. What is important is that this is a crucial week for Nigeria. Saturday, we are all going to the polls, presidential and National Assembly elections. The people of Nigeria should be the ones to be empowered to vote. Some governors have overruled the president of Nigeria. Do they have such powers? They have ordered that the old notes, all the old notes should still be in circulation. But Wednesday will be the determining factor. Will the Supreme Court of Nigeria show courage? Or will the Supreme Court of Nigeria be cowardly? Or will the Supreme Court of Nigeria throw his hands up in despair? But whatever happens is that Nigerians want to vote, and there is great enthusiasm out there, and we support that enthusiasm and aspiration and the declaration by the president that his government is committed to this transition.